From the end zone
through the mosh pit,
and the last house on the left. This is
screams and schemes.
the only channel you get actively dumber by watching. Today we're back with another video. We're going to be doing another mock draft, round one only, but this time we decided to spend the money. All right, we got PFF Plus. We're going to do trades properly. We're not going to go overboard with the trades. We're just going to do what we think is realistic on the trades, what we think teams will do with the trades. That's the strategy I'm using today. What I think the teams will do, not what I would do personally. What are you doing today, Kyle?
Same thing, really. I'm not going to go try to make too many bold moves unless I can really see it.
Oh, okay. I mean, yesterday I felt like when we were doing our picks, I felt like there were a couple that people didn't really agree with. There was one in particular that somebody argued with on the last video that we released, the Patriots pick, which I kind of agree with. Like the Will Campbell pick's kind of boring. I don't hate the Will Campbell pick for them, but it is a little boring, and I think Patriots fans really should probably accept that that's how they do business. That's how they've always done business. Their drafts are never spectacular. Every time they take a skill position, they don't work out. So I just went with chalk, went with boring. But today we're gonna do pretty much the same thing. I'm gonna be honest. Do what I think the teams are gonna do. Now today we're gonna switch it up a little bit. I'm gonna do the evens. He's gonna do the odds. So as of right now, Kyle, you are on the clock with the Titans pick. What are you going with?
So I can see this going one or two ways. They're either going to stay and draft Abdul Carter or a quarterback, whatever one they prefer. But I could see them trading with a team. But I don't think they will.
Well, let's talk about it. Who do you think would want to come up?
I think I'm looking at a team and the Raiders, really. I think Raiders are the one, but I do know that they are really interested in veteran quarterbacks on the market.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if they do end up getting a veteran quarterback off the market that they would be willing to also spend their first round pick or trade up for a quarterback.
Gotcha.
So I think Tennessee is going to draft Cam Ward. I'm pretty
Sticking with
consistent
Cam
on
Ward.
Cam Ward. Yeah,
Okay.
I think I want to stick with Cam Ward.
I see a lot of drafts out there rocking with Cam Ward. He's got the highest ceiling of all the quarterbacks. He's probably the most likely to become a bust out of the top three quarterbacks in my eyes, but he also has the chance to become the next superstar. I don't think that the Titans are a team that can afford to take a chance on Cam Ward right now, especially after having the worst season in the league last year. But I do like Cam Ward as a prospect. He's just got to have the correct development. And I think Brian Callahan, coming from the Bengals, coaching Joe Burrow for multiple years, he's going to be ready for the challenge. So I don't have a problem with that pick at all. Now, I'm on the clock with the Browns. This is difficult because as a Bengals fan, I know that the Browns are a bit of a joke right now. They haven't been making the best decisions as of late. I mean, it's safe to say that. So what do I think the Browns will do? I think there's a very strong possibility that they could go Travis Hunter, lock up their secondary room. Travis Hunter, Denzel Ward would be nasty. They've doubled down again on not trading Myles Garrett, but then Myles Garrett immediately came back with a I refuse to even talk about a contract extension with the Browns.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty safe to say that it's Abdul Carter. Carter for me. In my eyes, they should be looking for quarterback. Cam Ward would be a great pick for them if he got to them. But Abdul Carter is probably who they're going to take. And that's what I'm sticking with.
So if this happens for the Giants, this is perfect for them because they also are a team. If they do fear that the Browns are going to take a quarterback and Tennessee's going to take a quarterback, that they can give Tennessee a package deal to move up a spot ahead of the Browns and jump the Browns to get their quarterback. But at this situation, only one of them's gone, and they get to pick and they get the other option. And I think it's the option that they want more than the other. So in this instance, they get their pick and they have to move. Shador Sanders. It's pretty easy.
Shador Sanders, pretty chalk.
Shador would be a good fit for them because Shador is a very good pocket passer and he's very accurate. And then they already got one of the elite second year player going into second year and Malik Neighbors. I think Malik Neighbors and Shador Sanders is a very, very good duo that they can build off of. And they already have a really good D line. They just got to stay healthy.
No, I absolutely agree. I mean, that's why yesterday when I had the odds, I took Shador to the Giants as well. He's got such a tight relationship with Brian Dable. You see it on the field. You see it during when he was down in Mobile, Alabama during the Senior Bowl, just kind of hanging out. You saw it. You saw them dapping up every single time they see each other. It's like old friends meeting up together. So I'm on the clock with the Patriots at number 4.
I know you said that Will Campbell's boring, but you also said, that's what the team, what they think what do you think they're going to do?
I also could see, so it's Mike Vrabel, who played as a linebacker for the Patriots for many years, won multiple Super Bowls. I could see him prioritizing trenches, but on the defensive side. I could absolutely see a Mason Graham situation here, and it's very realistic. I'm not saying it's not realistic to take Travis Hunter either, but I could absolutely see them taking Mason Graham or Will Campbell here. Those are the two I'm leaning on right now. Travis Hunter would be a great pick. Chew up that secondary. Christian Gonzalez is going to be a beast in his his third year. He was a fucking monster last year. He was arguably on track for an all-pro season if you didn't have PS2. And who was the other one? Who was the other one?
You talk about the guy from Panthers?
No, I don't think J.C. Horn was the second team all-pro this year. I'll have to look at it later.
He made Pro Bowl.
Yeah, okay. So I think I'm going to stick with Mason Graham here. I think I'm going to put Mason Graham here. Feel bad for him because we let him slip a little too far last night. It's just sometimes the board slips away from you, and like very good players, top of the board players like Travis Hunter right now is going to slip down the board sometimes. It's just how it happens. Now you're on the clock.
I do think the only way they don't take Will Campbell is if Travis Hunter's in them at 4. I think that's their number one choice if they can't get Will Campbell, because there is a good chance. I think it's more of a chance that Travis Hunter will be there at 4. I do.
Then Will Campbell?
No. I think for the Patriots, if you're sitting there at the Patriots and you're pick 4, you got Mason Graham, Will Campbell, Travis Hunter. I don't know how, if you're the Patriots, you don't trade Travis Hunter. I just don't. I don't get it.
It really depends.
Because you don't need a quarterback. So both quarterbacks in our draft, that helps you. You don't need them.
Mm-hmm.
And then Adwell Carter, if you fell at 4, you would take him. Yeah. But if Adwell Carter's not there, you got your second pick essentially in Travis Hunter, unless you really, 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 really love Will Campbell that much, or Mason Graham that much.
I think Mason Graham, he's just on another level compared to the rest of the D tackles. It's a deep D tackle class, but I don't think. See here, let's just look at the position as a whole.
Do you think Mason Graham will be a better NFL player than Travis Hunter?
Do I think Mason Graham will be a better player than Travis Hunter? No. Okay. Not a better player overall, because there's not very many players, if any, in this class that are going to be better than Travis Hunter.
I would agree.
I mean, there's players like Tyreek Williams who just had a really, really good combine that I feel like are going to move up the board.
Yeah, he's not going in the second round.
He's not
going to be a first round pick.
But there's players like I don't see them wanting to take a lot of these guys in the second.
Joshua Farmer's having a really good combine. I can see him being a very, very early second round draft pick.
Perhaps, but I don't see them wanting to take any of these guys except for maybe Tyreek Williams or TJ Sanders in the beginning of the second round. So to me, they got to go defense, and it's got to be in the trenches, and that's what I think Mike Vrabel's going to do. So you're on the clock at number 5.
I think they just paid a corner, right? He didn't stay healthy this year, though, right? What's his name?
Tyson Campbell.
Tyson Campbell, and he's very good. I don't think he played a healthy season this year.
Don't forget about Will Johnson down here too.
You do go. That's what I was thinking of. I was gonna say Will Johnson, but at the same time, your own line's abysmal. Here again, your own line's abysmal, and you got Will Campbell. And it's like, if Will Campbell makes it to you at 5, you take him. I can also see an Ashton Jitty situation, pair him up, trade ETN, because ETN I don't think is working for them. And you got Tank Bigsby that showed some flashes. You compare Tank Bigsby and Ashton Jitty together, and you got a really good duo, and they're very young. Very, very young. And you kind of get your 1-2 punch that you're looking for.
I mean, ETN's still really young, too, so.
Yeah, but I just don't think he's going to work in Jacksonville. I think he needs a fresh start somewhere else. If this is my board and this is my draft, this is Travis Hunter, and you're stupid if you don't draft him here at Jacksonville. You take Campbell and you take Travis Hunter, you have one of the better secondaries in the league.
Yeah.
You got to take Travis Hunter, because if you like him better at receiver, then you got a skill position for Trevor Lawrence that you just paid that hasn't shown that he's worth the money yet. And maybe Travis Hunter brings it out of him. They can maybe use that Swift Army knife, and maybe that's what Jacksonville needs. So Travis Hunter would be my chalk pick here.
So you think Jacksonville is going to go Travis Hunter?
This is how the board lays. He is more valuable to Jacksonville than McMillan is, in my opinion.
No, 100%. I'm not going to disagree with you. And here is where I'm probably going to get a little bit of pushback. I do think, now, a lot of people don't really love the comparison game, which I'm not one for comparisons, but in this, I could absolutely see the head coach for the Raiders, Pete Carroll, wanting his Marshawn Lynch. You know what I mean? They don't have a great O-line, but I could absolutely see him wanting Ashton Jitty here. And Ashton Jitty fits in perfectly with the Raiders offense. They haven't had a run game to speak of. Who was it last year? Abdullah, was that their starting running back, or Zamir White at the beginning of the year?
It was supposed to be Zamir White. They had a lot of faith in Zamir White, and it did not.
Their run game was atrocious last year, and I'm a Bengals fan. I know what a bad run game looks like. That was abysmal. I don't think the Raiders, if they have one of their 2 quarterbacks staring them in the face, yeah, they're taking them. But in this board, they didn't slip to him. Ashton Jitty is going to make up for your lack of a quarterback immediately. Not going to say he's going to make your offense the best offense in the league, but I think you could easily get a quarterback in the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th round to be a good system quarterback for you, like a Will Howard, to pair with your new offensive coordinator, who was just the offensive coordinator on the national championship Buckeyes team. What do you think of that?
I like that pick. I still think he's going to the Cowboys, personally. But if there's going to be a team that snipes the Cowboys from Jitty, it's the Raiders. It's the Raiders Cowboys to me. I
can see 2 teams even after the Raiders sniping him. I could absolutely see the Saints and the Bears taking him.
But I'm gonna be honest. Is this our first trade here?
It could be. I was thinking the same thing.
You have no quarterback, but like, I don't know how crazy this is to people. Will Howard's not a day 1 pick, so I'm not talking Will Howard. But there's 2 guys that I definitely think could be in the 1st round, and I don't think it's crazy to say they're 7th. I think the New York Jets trade this pick. Now, what I'm thinking is, I think they trade. Let's see here. Who would I think they would trade?
Want me to bring up the trade chart?
Yeah, let's see the trade chart here, because I'm trying to think. Because if you're the Jets, and let's say you really got the skill positions, you got Garrett Wilson. I mean, they could draft McMillan. That's not bad.
So here's the point
their
values.
Defensive line's fine. Their corners are fine. They just got to sign. They got to sign Reed in free agency. I think they can do it.
You have 2 monitors, right?
Yeah.
Here, I'm going to do this. There you go. You can look at that while you're trying to do the math. So 1,500 points for the New York Jets pick. So let's say what teams do you have in mind to move up?
I can see someone like Miami, if Tyreek decides to leave, to go get their replacement for Tyreek and McMillan. I could see uh, if Ashton Genty was here, Dallas maybe trading to get Ashton Genty. Um, hmm, man,
So what's he? Well, see, in my eyes, if you're going to come up with a trade, it's got to be something that not only is realistic, but something that you think both teams are doing out of necessity or their want to move up. It's not necessarily just because you want to make a move and you want to make a trade. Like,
no.
realistically, who do you think could trade for this?
Would it be crazy to say the Saints would trade it and go get Will Johnson and move up 2 spots to go get Will Johnson?
Will Campbell or Will Johnson?
Will Johnson for the Saints.
I think the Saints would probably not want to move up because they need to keep all the draft stock they can right now. They're in cap hell, and they need to store their draft picks right now.
I'll say Miami and Jets trade here. No, they're in the division. I won't trade in. I won't trade in.
Okay.
I won't trade in. I want to, but I think I don't want to go like too crazy, like I said. So I'll leave it alone. But I wanted to keep this in mind that the Jets can absolutely trade this pick. But that being said, if they do not trade this pick, wow,
There's a
I
few.
would
There's a
go.
few teams here.
I'm looking at, bro, because I think if they don't trade, they take a quarterback. I think they reach on Milrow.
You really think that the Jets are reaching on Milrow? I mean,
I think it's gonna be Milrow, Jackson Dart.
I could see Jackson Dart, but I can't. Dude, I can't see either of those guys going top 10 in any draft ever.
It also depends. We haven't seen quarterbacks like test
Yeah,
to see
true.
if anybody loves Jackson Dart. But I do think Jackson Dart is probably 3 on most people's list. Maybe
But
Quinn Ewers. But
the last time we
I'll
had a quarterback in the top 3 that tested incredibly well but didn't play like super good in college was a Jets quarterback. A Jets draft pick was Zach Wilson, and he performed incredibly well, throwing 60-yard bombs like super accurately, and people loved him. He moved really, really well in the pocket, and he's one of the biggest draft busts in NFL history. So
I'll say they draft McMillan because I think Devontae Adams is essentially gone. They're not taking him. So
he's
I
gone.
think McMillan and Garrett Wilson would be fantastic. They do got to
Mhm.
sign Garrett Wilson because it sounds like he does want a contract extension
Perfect
this year.
time. It's perfect time.
So let's keep that in mind too. If they don't reach an agreement, then this is perfect for them still. So maybe I'm overthinking it. I definitely think they are a trade partner here, especially if it says a couple spots. They can still maybe get their guy.
Yeah.
But I'll say take McMillan.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I like that pick. I've done that pick before myself in the past. I think the Jets loading up. I mean, immediately, I'm so high on Tedero McMillan that he is their number one. Just to start out, he is their number one over Garrett Wilson in my eyes. The dude's frame, his athleticism is incredible. I hope we see him at his pro day because he didn't come to the combine. I don't know if he has like an injury or something going on, but I really, really want to see him test. But again, I said it last time, turn on the film. The dude's a baller, straight baller. And in that offense, if they can get a quarterback to throw them the ball, like Jackson Dart, I don't hate the idea of Jackson Dart. I don't hate the idea of the Jets trading back into the first round to get Jackson Dart for that 5th-year option. But we'll talk about that later. So I'm on the clock with the Panthers. Ooh, if I'm the Panthers.
I can see about 3 or 4 different players here.
If I'm the Panthers, I want a weapon for Bryce Young, but I also don't want to. I don't want to stretch on a weapon. You're talking about probably the best weapon, the best 2 weapons that are in this draft class just went back to back right before you. So I don't think they would force themselves to take a Luther Burden in this situation. I think they would probably go EPA and probably take James Pierce Jr. In my eyes, he is best player available. Jahdae Barron is going to be a fantastic lockdown nickel corner. They could take Will Campbell, but haven't they? What contracts do they have in the O-line?
I know they signed one of their O linemen last year. I can't think of his name. Their O line's a little rough. I can absolutely see him going Will Campbell here to protect Bryce Young, but
It's really rough. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go BPA, which is to me James Pierce Jr. He tested off the charts at the combine. Actually tested on his chart. He tested like we thought he would.
Yep. 447.
Yep. I'm gonna go ahead and lock that one in. You're on the clock with the Saints.
Saints' line was pretty bad, right?
Oh, it's dog shit, yeah. And then who's their their tackle that had knee cartilage problems and was like talking about retiring. I think he's coming back.
So I'll say this. I'm not gonna overcomplicate this. There's, like I said in the last video we made, I think if there's one offensive lineman in the first round that you're going to take, tackle, whatever, if they're going to be Pro Bowl their first year or anything, it's Will Campbell. Saints need a lot. We can go corner, we can go receiver, we can go offensive line, we can go edge. No position here is wrong for the Saints. Best player available right here that I'm looking at with the most upside for their team year one is Will Campbell. I will go Will Campbell because if they're going to stay with Derek Carr's got to be protected to make 100%. His contract worth it. And you got to protect your quarterback, Will Campbell.
I love this pick, keeping LSU boy in Louisiana. I love it.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that pick. And now the Bears are on the clock. They don't get their running back of the future. They don't get their right tackle of the future. So what are you going to do? What did they just do, Kyle, last year?
They did draft offensive line, right? They got the guy from
Darnell Wright.
No, that was the year after. So they drafted Doomsday.
Oh yeah, Roma Doomsday and Caleb Williams.
The year after they drafted the guy from what was it? Tennessee.
I was talking more along the lines of they just signed. Is it Jalen Johnson?
Yes,
Jalen Johnson, their cornerback, to a massive deal.
Yeah, amazing.
And I was thinking, what better way to shoe up that secondary than take a lockdown corner?
Yeah, oh God, yeah.
To me, that's Will Johnson.
I think he's better than Travis Hunter as a corner.
I hope we see Will Johnson run at his pro day because he didn't show up to the combine. He had a little bit of he had that injury that sidelined him for the entire season. Yes. I want to see him run a 40 because people think he's not going to run very fast. If he can run like a sub 4.55, he's fine. He's perfectly fine. He's got that big frame. He's got incredible ball skills. He is physical. He can do zone. He can do man coverage. He can do it all. It's just people are worried about his top end speed. Man. I'm not. I'm really not.
Look at all the pick sixes have. I mean, his speed. He has to be doing something right on field speed. So
as an Ohio State fan, he made our lives hell.
Yeah. So I'm not worried about his 40 speed necessarily.
No, Will Johnson.
I'm gonna be honest. Another team that could do so much. I don't think they're a trade guy. I don't think they're a trade team. I think they need a lot more than what they think they do. Obviously, I think they're going to get a quarterback contract done with their Brock Purdy. But I think Brock Purdy needs weapons now. I mean, Kittle, and then you got Ayuk. Got to hope Ayuk stays healthy.
Yep.
I mean, Tyler Warren's the best weapon here. But if you got Kittle, do you prioritize tight end here? I mean,
not to me.
Maybe. I think your defense is pretty solid if they stay healthy. That was their problem, that they need to stay healthy. I think Will Johnson they would absolutely took. They needed Will Johnson more than anything. You could go – I mean, they do need secondary. So do you take the only guy that's like worth a top 15 pick in the secondary?
He just tested pretty well too.
Is trash. But Luther Burton is is the second or third best.
If they're losing Debo,
which they are,
Debo's a clone of him. He's essentially a clone of Luther Burton. So,
but I think they take secondary because I think that's their biggest need, and I think Brock Purdy is such a good game manager, smart with the ball, that he can do without a receiver. I think they got to get better. I think their defense and secondary has got to get better and has to get better now. So I'll take the corner, Barron from Texas. I'll take him because I really think the corners fall off drastically. So I think we're wide receiver in the second round, they could find somebody that could still be maybe even better than Luther Burton. So, but I don't think they could find a corner better than him.
Speaking of Luther Burton here, I'm going to take him to the Cowboys. Cowboys finally get that wide receiver 2 you've been bitching and moaning and complaining about. You need somebody to help CeeDee Lamb. You need somebody. Brandon Cooks isn't it. Turpin's not it. He's just a punt returner. Who was the other guy? Who was that other guy? Small slot corner that was just
Oh,
shifty.
Tolbert.
Yeah, Tolbert. He's not it.
He's
How
just a
about
return man.
how about I give you the perfect compliment to what CD Lamb does? CD Lamb's a do it all guy. How about we give you a slot receiver that is just going to catch the ball and break a lot of tackles? How about that?
Yep.
Happy? If not, let me know in the comments. I think it's a great pick for you guys.
So I think Dolphins are another team that are very interesting. We can go edge here because they did lose Chubb to a trade. Their edge definitely fell off. They lost a lot of pieces of free agencies. Their secondary could
Wait,
use another.
where's Chubb? Where did Chubb go?
Chubb went to the Broncos.
No, he came from the Broncos.
No, he came from Broncos. So vice versa. I
No,
apologize.
Bradley
So
Chubb got hurt, I believe, last
yeah.
year.
So Bradley Chubb got hurt. So if you're worried about his injury, you can go edge. I'm looking at Mike Green, but you can also go a blocking tight end that can help Tua stay healthy because Will Campbell's not here. And I don't know about you guys, but I am tired of Tua getting hurt, and especially you Dolphins fans have to be tired of it because when he stays healthy, he's very good. He's got to stay healthy. And check down Tua is the dangerous Tua. Tyler Warren, if he's right here, you can't let the Colts get him. You don't want to pass up, let the Colts get him. You guys look silly. I think Tyler Warren's your best player here. Because Tua likes screens. If you lose Tyreek Hill, you gotta make up that production somewhere if he does leave. And I think Waddle and Warren would do Tua some good. And I think Warren, regardless if Tyreek leaves or not, I like Warren, Tyreek, and Jalen Waddle. That sounds like trouble for that division as long as Tua stays healthy. So I'm gonna go ahead and lock in Warren here, and I think Warren to Miami makes a lot of sense.
Alrighty, I agree. We were talking before the show about this, and I think it's a great pick because he's by far the best blocking tight end in this draft. This draft is actually pretty deep with tight ends, but Tyler Warren in particular is the best blocking one, hands down. He's the closest thing we've seen to George Kittle. I don't think he's quite as athletic as George Kittle, but he's very good at blocking and he's very good at route running and he's very physical at the catch point and he's going to run motherfuckers over. And I think it's a great pick because he can block for Tua and he can be that dump off screen guy for him instead of taking a massive tackle that ultimately ends up with a concussion. We've seen it time and time again. So, all right, I'm on the clock with our neighbors, the Indianapolis Colts. All right.
Warren's gone. Do we trade?
Your tight end's not there. No, this is not one of the teams that I think they're in prime position to get one of the players that they want. And I think if you pay attention to what the Colts need, it's definitely safety. Safety is a number one need that they have. Maybe tight end, but I think safety is their number one need. There are a lot of people thinking that they could probably wait till the round 2 to get like Xavier Watts, guy right up the road, played for the Irish, just keep him in Indy. And I think Malachi Starks is by far the best safety in this draft, and I don't think they're going to let him get to pick 15. And I don't think they're going to let him get to the Bengals either. The Bengals could take a safety here. I'm going to go with Malachi Starks.
I like that pick.
Now the Falcons are up. Pick 15. Yesterday you took Mike Green to him. I want to see what you're going to do today.
So, yeah, last video I took Mike Green to the Chicago.
Oh, Chicago. I'm so sorry. Yeah, you're right.
Because I think the reason why I haven't taken Mike Green yet is because number one, I do think he's worth a top 15 pick. I think both edges are gone. He's the best one left. But I do think in this video, I am thinking as a GM that the sexual assault allegations is going to hurt his stock a little bit in this video.
Yes.
So I'm trying to like be a little bit different than what I was last video. Falcons could be like, you know what? Mike Green's got some off the field issues. We're going to take another good pass rusher, another good need, and we're going to take Campbell, which arguably could be better for them too. And we're going to go ahead and take Campbell. They can get to the quarterback and do a lot for your defense because you need a lot.
That's what I took to him yesterday.
And I think it's if you're looking at this, Mike Green or Campbell, for the two of the Falcons could be in every mock, and you're not wrong either way.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong.
But if you're looking at them too, if you're Falcons GM, let's say you like Mike Green 1% more, but he has sexual assault allegations on him. I think Campbell would jump him, and that's why I took Campbell over him in this instance.
All right, so I'm on the board with the next bird team, Arizona Cardinals. It's down to 2 players for me. They don't need really O-line. I think their O-line's pretty good. Actually, no, Jonah Williams has been given permission to seek a trade, even though, I mean, whatever. Jonah Williams is whatever. So I could see them taking Josh Simmons to shoe up both tackles.
Was it 2 years ago they took the Ohio State offense? Yeah, and I said it then. He was the best tackle in that draft. We'll see. They love their Ohio State tackles. I'm just saying.
So to me, it's either O-line or D-line, and in particular, edge rush. And again, another player that I think is on the same level as Mike Green as a whole, but not as just a pure get after the passer pass rusher, Mykel Williams. Now, with this assault allegations with Mike Green, yeah, I think I'm going to push him down to the board, but not because I want him. And I know a lot of people are going to be, oh, you're forcing him down the board because you want the Bengals to take him. I'm not even picking for the Bengals today, which I'm not going to sit here and act like Mike Green wouldn't be the perfect fit for the Bengals because he's got allegations against him. That's what we take. That's what the Bengals take. That's right up our alley. But I'm going to go and take Mykel Williams for them. Good pass rusher, incredible run stuffer. He sets the edge better than probably anyone in this class. The only one I could probably think of better is James Pierce Jr. He's the only guy that sets the edge better than Mykel Williams. And Mykel Williams took a massive leap this year in terms of his overall run defense. You can see it right there with the score on PFF. The dude is a baller, and I think under the right system, he is going to feast and be an all-pro in the close future. So here we are, Kyle. Pick 17. Don't do me wrong.
So how do you feel like the Bengals don't run stop this year? I would feel like it got better throughout the year, but I still think it needs a little help. You agree? You think it needs a little help?
We need help with everything. We need a safety. We need a corner. We need defensive interior. I say edge is our number 1 priority. Mm-hmm. Interior is our number 2 priority, and then offensive guard is our number 3.
I'm going to give you 3 players, I think, and one of these 3 players I am going to pick. I can see Derek Harmon for the Oregon, very good run stopper, tested like a freak. I like him. I think he's going up boards, and I like him for the Cincinnati Bengals.
I don't like him when there's better players on the board.
2, Loveland from Michigan. Good route runner for the tight end, more weapons for Joe Burrow.
Of course.
If you sign T. Higgins and you sign Jamar Chase, both, here again, opens up both of them for yardage in their contracts. We give someone like Loveland that they have to fear. And he's an upgrade for Mike Gesicki. You saw what Mike Gesicki did with Joe Burrow. Loveland, year 1, Joe Burrow would fall in love with him, and he would put up crazy stats. But I think I'm absolutely silly. And I think I'm absolutely silly if I do not take Mike Green here. I think if it's just allegations and there's nothing set in stone of any like hardcore proof, if you're the Bengals, you're silly not to take a chance on him.
Well,
you're
I think if
you don't pay Trey Henderson, which there's a chance that you don't,
yeah, there's a big chance.
Mike Green could be that guy to replace him. So, or if you do pay him, he's the other side of him, and Henderson can develop him and help him out maybe on some off the field issues. So Mike Green's a perfect fit here, and I don't like slipping him past pick 17.
That's fine with me.
I think that's robbery. I think Mike Green and Cincinnati Bengals is perfect here for you guys.
And I'm not going to disagree with the pick. I don't love it. I'm not in love with Mike Green. There's better pass rushers that went before him, but he's definitely a top 4, just pure get to the quarterback edge rusher in the class. And I don't mind having him on the team. He's going to be better than any of these other guys in my eyes that we could have taken. So I do like the pick. Walter Nolan is probably someone I would have taken over him, but that's just me personally. Now I'm on with the Seahawks. This to me is a trade target that I've been thinking about this entire time. I've been thinking about the Vikings trading up because what do you think they struggled with last year?
Damn sure not receiver. God. Offensive line?
Offensive line. They could not stay healthy. Darisaw went out. They had to go and get a rent-a tackle with Cam Robinson from the Jags. He didn't work out. They could not protect Sam Darnold to save his life. I think
you got to protect JJ too.
I think one of these teams one of these teams is going to take Josh Simmons before pick 24, and I don't think the Vikings want that to happen. So I'm
Especially if
gonna
Green
work on
Bay's the
this
team to
trade.
do it.
Where are they at? The Minnesota Vikings pick 4, give up 24, 18. If I'm not mistaken, trade chart has 900. Minnesota, that's 140. So let's say Minnesota has to give up their third and their sixth, wherever that is. They have a sixth?
Uh,
It doesn't appear so.
they do not.
All right, we'll do.
PFF will tell you though what picks they got. They
All
do
right,
have
fifth
a
right here. No, that
yep.
math works out almost perfectly. So they'll be doing their fifth. Oh, literally, yeah, it does tell you. So pick 161. Believe. Yep, 161 for 18.
I
Offer
think they would have to
trade.
give up a little bit more than that.
There we go. So no, that's just based off of this. This is actually a pretty good way to go about it. Looking at this chart, this is I forget who made this chart. Yeah, Jimmy Johnson made this chart, and a lot of teams do use their calculator in the chart to go off of what trade values are. Sometimes you have to give up a little bit more. Like if you're dealing with top 5 picks, you got to give up a little bit more to get in there and get your future master player. So again, trade up. This guy was on track to be the best tackle this year. We would be talking about him over Will Campbell if he didn't get hurt. Locking in Josh Simmons, their right tackle right tackle of the future.
So I would like. So what do we think the odds are that Tampa Bay brings back Godwin? Do you think Godwin takes a team-friendly deal and they take him, or do you think he's just gone?
I think he's gone.
Okay, so because I'm looking here again, I'm not going to trade because you just trade, but I could see, and I just want people to understand, I could see the Chargers maybe being interested in trading up with Tampa if they gave up the right to get Golston from Texas, because that's, like I said, after him, after him, we start getting worse for wide receivers.
Yeah, it falls off a cliff, really.
Now, I think Tampa takes Loveland, the tight end from Michigan.
Oh.
I think Baker would love Loveland. He's a good route runner. I think when you have these teams that have really good tight ends, like it seems to work out very well. Look at the Chiefs; they've won Super Bowls because they've had that good of a tight end. Look at George Kittle. Look at what the Detroit's doing. So I feel like tight end is more valuable than ever right now. And Loveland could be better than Warren, but he's definitely a better route runner. He's got great hands. You let's say you got Mike Evans. Let's say you get Godwin back on a cheaper deal. Yeah, Godwin, Mike Evans, Loveland, Baker, with a decent line. And you still got Rashad White. You still got good running backs. You have like 4 running backs that look good. So I mean, you guys are good on running backs.
True.
Could go corner. Could go something on defense. I don't like the corners that were left on the board here. Loveland's a top 20 talent in this draft, I would say. Why don't we go get someone for Baker and bring his game up even more than what we already seen?
I'm not gonna disagree.
Tampa.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think Colson Loveland, it was gonna go within the next 3 picks anyway, and this is a team I probably would have taken him to if you hadn't taken him just now. I think the Broncos could absolutely use another weapon, but good thing there's one staring them in the face right now. And they had one of the best defenses in the league last year, and they had the number 1 rated offensive line, pass blocking and run blocking, even over the Eagles, which is crazy.
Yeah, crazy.
It doesn't make any sense to me, but they did.
I think the Rams had the best, though, right?
No, it was them. It was Broncos. Okay. They had the number 1 rated O-line, and I think Emeka Egbuka is going to be that weapon they're missing right now. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm going to say about that, because I think that's pretty chalk.
So I would like to say that I think that you guys are going to call me crazy, and this might be my crazy pick here. I don't see Russell Wilson or Justin Fields being on the Steelers. that they're both gone.
There's nothing crazy about that.
So I do think this is a quarterback here. And pick 21. Some people love it. Some people don't. If he's trained right, he will be a Lamar Jackson clone. And I think they love their Lamar. They love Lamar. Mike Tomlin does. He loves watching his game. They have a lot of success against him, and they also know how good Lamar is and why I don't get the closest thing we've seen out of Lamar Jackson in college. I think Jalen Milroe is a perfect fit for the Steelers. I really do. Even if, let's say, you bring Russell Wilson back on another 1-year deal, he doesn't have to start right away then. Even if you bring Justin Fields in there for a year or two, if that's the case they want to go, you can still draft Jalen Milroe here. I like Jalen Milroe here. Jalen Milroe is going to be a top 10, top 15 pick, and then we saw him play against Michigan in basically the Outback Bowl. That's not what they call it now. Yeah. And he looked good. But I'm not completely out on Milroe. He's got a good arm. I'm not saying it's very accurate. He's a little raw. But if he could come into the league and learn and his talent can go up and he could calm down a little bit, Milroe could be a steal here at pick 21. I'm going to go Milroe. This might be my craziest pick of the draft. I'm going to say Milroe.
Yeah, I will fight back on that one a little bit. I don't think Milroe is touching the first round, personally. I don't think he's good at anything other than running the ball. Personally, I think he's got a cannon for an arm, but when you are so inconsistent with that cannon, it's not worth taking him at pick 21.
And he could do check downs. Pat Freiermuth will love him, and he's got a cannon of an arm.
I think he's got to be in the perfect system for him, and I don't think the Steelers are even close to the perfect system for him.
I don't hate the system for the Steelers for him. I don't.
To me, they are a very much run first team, just like you would want for him, but I don't think they have any weapons that are going to be good enough for a Jalen Milroe system. They don't their running backs aren't great. As much as people wanted to talk about how good Jalen Warren has been and how solid Najee Harris has been. Najee Harris is gone after this year. I'm pretty sure he's going to hit the free agency market, is he not?
I mean, I don't know. Quote me if I'm wrong. Can't they franchise tag him if they really wanted to?
Yeah, but I don't see them doing that.
I think they will, but I also think they can get him for a $9 to $10 million a year kind of deal for 3 years.
I think they would have done his 5th year option if they were going to do something like that.
They could have
extend contract talks.
I do. Steelers like to do screens with George Pickens. I can think screens with George Pickens with Milroe would do really well. I can see Milroe running the ball because they like running the ball there. I think that fits a lot. I think Freiermuth is a check down kind of tied in. I think Milroe love his check downs. They do got a burner. And was it Calvin Austin's at the burner? And Milroe likes throwing them Hail Mary balls.
I mean, they have Van Jefferson and Calvin Austin, who are deep
and
ball
Mike
guys.
Williams. And I think Jalen Milroe, I don't think that's as bad as what people think. I'm not saying the Steelers are necessarily I'm for sure of this, but I definitely could see Milroe being the first day. People stretch on quarterbacks all the time, and I could definitely see with Milroe's. What's the saying that you have? That mean you have off camera. But what does upside bring it?
Yeah, it's a quote I got from Darius Butler. Potential get your ass fired.
Exactly. And I could definitely see the Steelers taking the raw talent of Milroe, and I can see Milroe going here. Because I don't think they're going to be in love with Jackson Dart. I don't think they'll take Will Howard. I mean, they could take Golden and take Will Howard in the second round. That is an option. But if you like Milroe's upside that much, you got to take him here because before the Steelers pick again, he will not be there. So if you believe in him, you got to take him here.
I don't like the pick personally, but I'm gonna let you ride with it. I probably would have taken a corner for them, and they had Trey Amos staring him in the face here, who also just tested very well at the combine. I think they could have used him a lot more.
Milroe's going to test like a freak too in this combine.
Absolutely, but is he even coming to the combine?
I don't see how he can skip on it. I'm gonna be honest. He has to get his stock up.
Most of the big quarterbacks aren't coming to the combine; they're going to their pro day. But either way, I digress. Don't love the pick, but I mean, you guys can talk about it in the comments. You can flame Kyle. I'm sorry, Steelers fans. Actually, no, fuck you, Steelers fans. He should have taken.
I don't think it's that bad.
He should have taken KJ Jefferson to you guys. That's what he should have taken.
I don't think it's the worst pick in the world. I'll be honest. If he is anything like Lamar Jackson, you won the draft. So I'm just saying. I mean, it's just that simple. The upside is there for him. He's a great runner. He's got a can of an arm. He's got to work on his accuracy. If the coaching staff on the Steelers can get his accuracy improved, he's got best of both worlds. He can kill you from the run and he can kill you from the pass. You got a little bit of weapons. Go sign someone in free agency. Jalen Milroe can be that guy for you.
All right. Let's move on. So we got the Chargers up next. All right. So what do the Chargers need other than wide receiver? So they really don't have a wide
tight
receiver.
end that's not there now.
True. That is, yeah, true. I mean, what's his name is still here? Walter Fannin? Harold Fannin. Well,
Yeah, I don't think he's going in the first round.
He could go in the first round. I don't know why he's so lowly graded by PFF. They're so weird with their grades. But either way, they don't have a Justin Herbert wide receiver, do they? They don't have somebody to take the top off the defense.
That's it, but he don't really do that. But yeah.
They really don't have somebody to take the top off the defense. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this would be another 21st or 22nd overall pick where they take wide receiver in the last 3 years. But to me, Matthew Golden can't be passed up here. Yeah.
Lad McConkey, they took it in the second round, right? Or first round?
Pretty sure it was either the second or first.
Either way, this would be a back-to-back wide receiver you spend a high pack.
To me, you go with your strengths. They ran the ball well. They should re-sign. This is what I think the Chargers will do. They should re-sign J.K. Dobbins to a 2 or 3 year deal. He runs really well. Yes, if he can stay healthy, he's a beast. Simple as that. And you need a player that's going to take the top off the defense, and this dude's a burner. Yep. And with somebody who has a cannon for an arm like Justin Herbert, this is pretty chalk to me. And now you get to pick for the team your team put out of the playoffs.
Yeah, trying to ban a tush push. Sorry, so I don't love their D-line that much. I don't love necessarily their edge rushers either. It's probably a shame that Walter Nolan's fallen as far. I'm not going to let him fall anymore. I'm not going to let him fall anymore. I think Green Bay, because they have receivers. Their O-line could get help in Banks. I think, though, Walter Nolan is a higher upside player than Banks. And I just like Walter Nolan here. That's pretty much chalk. He fell too far a little bit.
No, 100%. Like I said, if you didn't take Mike Green, I wanted Walter Nolan for the Bengals. Yep.
I like Walter Nolan with Green Bay a lot.
All right, so the Seahawks are back after getting a 3rd and a 5th rounder. And, I mean, it's pretty obvious what they're going to go for, and that's offensive line here. They need to protect their quarterback, and Armand Membu, to me, is a much better prospect than Kelvin Banks. This dude is weird. He has movement issues, and I feel like he gets tossed around way too much when I watch film of elite, not even elite, just good pass rushers against him. He gets tossed around. Armand Membu, this guy, he came out of nowhere for me. I didn't know about this guy from Missouri. Missouri didn't play well this year, but this guy was absolutely shining on this team this year. And I'm going to go with him. I'm going to take him, and I don't think he can go wrong. Even if he doesn't work out, he's a little bit undersized for a tackle. Cool. Move him inside for guard. You need guard help too. I think it's a perfect pick for them.
Well, boring, I guess. But I'm going to go with the guy that has movement issues. And I'm for the Texans, and I'm going to go with somebody they have to have. I mean, you have to hope he works. He's the last great, I guess, good tackle left. You've got to protect C.J. Stroud because C.J. Stroud makes every receiver around you look good. You just got to give him time. Even someone like Mechie, that's in their depth chart, can look better. They just got to give C.J. Stroud time. I slam in this desk. They got to protect C.J. Stroud. Please, I don't care what tackle's left. You got to take him. And in this instance, Banks is there. Either way, if you guys don't like that the Missouri guy went ahead of him, either way, you can flip them. I'm taking the guy from Missouri to Texans, vice versa. So it doesn't matter. They're taking a tackle to me. I think Texans are a offensive line pick shoo-in.
All right. So I know there's a lot of people probably sitting there pulling their hair out about Kenneth Grant falling this far. Kenneth Grant is a beast. There's just nothing else to say about it. That middle of the D-line for the Michigan Wolverines drove me crazy this year as an Ohio State Buckeye fan. I don't think you could convince me to not take defensive interior here for them. Their defensive line was already very good last year with rookies, and you're telling me Braden Fisk Kenneth Grant, Jared Verse, and Kobe Turner, if I'm not mistaken. Elite.
Yeah, that's the best
D line in
in
football.
football. Giants have an argument,
Absolutely.
But
now with the dirty birds, nope, with the rat birds. That's what they're called, the rat birds.
Here again, last good corner left, Trey Amos, lock.
Good
Secondary,
corner. There's some good corners out there,
but I think in the first round is what I'm trying to say.
100%.
Trey Amos, I'm taking him because it felt like when I watched the Ravens, your D line, I don't mind him. Gets paid a couple guys there. You get good production there. Your middle linebackers, obviously at Rocco Smith, second best in the league. Don't need that.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Hamilton needs help in that secondary. And you got an older, what's his name? The corner from Alabama. They're on one corner. What's his name? Humphrey. He's giving up a little bit more. He's still elite. Not as elite as he used to be. But let's give him some help. And I think the Ravens have a very good secondary with Nate Wiggins. I know they took Nate Wiggins. I'm going to keep that in mind. But this could be that Humphrey's replacement. And I think you desperately need it. So I like Trey Amos here.
So I like that pick for them. I was thinking before you made that Trey Amos pick, Amari and Hampton with Derrick Henry on his last year of his deal to be that Derrick Henry replacement.
Just thinking about it.
And I just can't find a pick. I can't find a fit for him.
They got Mitchell, though, the guy that looked good, but they haven't even used him yet.
Yeah,
really hardly.
Keaton Mitchell. Yeah, he's a burner, though. I'm
going to keep that. Yeah.
Amari and Hampton should do it all kind of back. I just can't find a fit for him on these 5 remaining teams now. I really can't. Like maybe the Bills, but I don't see them using their first round pick on a running back. But here we are at the Lions. There's 2 players here I'm looking at. And no, Nick Scorton's not one of them. Although I do kind of have faith that he can turn around this slump that he's been in. To me, it's out of... Where did he go? Where the hell did he go? Landon Jackson. This dude, did you watch his combine tape?
Yeah, it was very good.
This dude performed like a freak. He had a solid 40, and then every other drill, he was just stone cold face doing it to the best of his ability. The dude was an absolute animal. But I don't think you could pass up somebody who was just as good, if not better, a little more raw at the edge position. Somebody that, again, we keep comparing to Chop Robinson because we don't know what he's going to be at the professional level. But this dude's traits are ridiculous. And I think they're in a position because they're going to be getting their best player, Nathan Hutchinson, back. Their offense is electric. The rest of their defense is perfectly fine when healthy. I think they could afford to take a pick and take a swing at Shamar Stewart and get him developed and have Aiden Hutchinson teach him his ways, teach him some pass rush moves, teach him something other than a bull rush. And I think that they're the perfect team to do that.
So my first trade is right here. I would, if I was picking Eagles, I would be doing this trade too because I think for this player, it's between these 2 teams, in my opinion. I think these 2 teams are going to offer the Cleveland Browns the most. I think Washington's going to get Myles Garrett in this draft. I think they're going to give up pick 29 to the Cleveland Browns. I think they're going to give up next year's first round pick and maybe a second this year. I think that's about worth it, right? We can agree. So it's 2 firsts and a second.
Might be a little bit rich for me, but yeah, if this next year's round 1 ends up being like a 25th and up pick, yeah, it's probably worth it to them.
So then this would be the Cleveland Browns picking right here.
So you want to offer this trade?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I think that is a best case scenario. I think, like I said, I think the Eagles will offer a lot too. I do think the Eagles are in play. Howie Roseman's a genius, but I definitely think Washington and Eagles are going to bid the most because they're going against each other. They're not going to let either one of them go in that division without giving up their soul. In this instance, I think Washington has more cap space. That will decide. So they picked Abdul Carter, correct? You had to pick an Abdul Carter? No, you had to pick it was Abdul Carter, correct?
The Browns, yeah.
Yeah. So in this instance, we're thinking for Browns, we found our Myles Garrett replacement, or what we think it could be a Myles Garrett replacement. But there's not a lot of good receivers here. But here again,
Dak Bash is
you guys can call me crazy.
You're crazy.
I do think Quinn Ewers is getting picked here. Uh,
What?
I do think Quinn Ewers is getting picked here. I think. Well, man, hold on. I think it's gonna be Quinn Ewers, or I think it's gonna be Jackson Dart. I think it's gonna be quarterback because here's the thing. Me and you were talking about it.
In the first?
Yeah, if you're gonna pass up on a quarterback on the first three picks, you're gonna pass up on Kenmore, Shador, you're Abdul. I agree with that. But if you could get Kirk Cousins and all that, but you're paying so much and dead money in quarterback, they can absolutely not want to do that anymore,
I agree. I agree with that
right?
statement.
So they're like one of the first picks the second round, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they have Washington's second
So
now.
here's what I'll say. I could see them taking their guy here if they're worried about him being gone, but we're gonna go ahead and take Amari and Hampton here for them
Perfect pick in
because
my eyes.
I think Nick Chubb's getting traded. Uh, he's not going to be there. I don't see why he would
Mm-mm.
be there. O line's good. They just got to stay healthy. You got your playmaker. Maybe a better Nick Chubb. Obviously, in this instance, you're either taking, like I said, you're taking a rookie quarterback, which I still think they should do. If they even go out and get a Kirk Cousins or a Justin Fields, they still should go
Mm-hmm.
invest into a quarterback. I could see a quarterback getting taken here if they're worried about the teams below them taking one. Probably not likely, but GM's talk. So
Oh, 100%.
I like Hampton here. I think that makes a lot of sense. And remember, if you're a Browns fan, you're building for the future.
Yeah.
Hampton is the guy that's good. You got Judy that we might
Hey,
have found a
man,
steal there.
if I'm a Browns fan and you're telling me
I got Abdul Carter and Hampton.
I'm not gonna even I'm not even going to compete for a Super Bowl with Myles Garrett, and I can
Yep.
trade him for 2 firsts in the second, get Abdul Carter in the first, and Amari and Hampton in the
You
first.
would say that we won the first round, right?
You won the entire
Because
draft.
you're getting rid of a player that is very elite. Don't get me wrong, Browns fans, but you don't want to be with you guys. You're getting rid of a player that does not want to play for you guys, and you're getting somebody that is elite that's going to want to play for you guys, and you could build the whole team around him, and he's younger. It's going to be a lot
Mm-hmm.
less money right now. For 3 or
100%.
4 years, it'll be a lot less money. You could be a better. And then you go get someone that could be better than Ashton Genty right there at pick 29.
All right, so now I'm on the clock with the Bills. Defense, defense, defense. They were very soft against the run this year. Man, I really want to take Jalen Walker to them right now. But they were so bad against the run this year, I can't pass up on Tyleek Williams. And this is not me just forcing this dude into the first round. The dude was an elite run defender in college. Elite run defender. And I don't think this pass rush grade shows how good he was at getting to the quarterback last year. I really don't. I don't know how many times I looked up and he was getting to the quarterback, getting pressure. I'm
Yeah.
locking in Tyleek Williams here. I don't think after that combine performance, he's slipping to the second. I really don't.
Bills be
Call me
lucky if they get him.
biased. Call me biased if you want. I'm an Ohio State fan. But I think they would love that pick. I think Bills fans would love that pick. If you don't, discourse in the comments. I'm ready
I
for it.
mean, for this pick, I'm not going to talk about it. I think it's very obvious. It's Derek Harmon.
Really?
If he's here, you need D line. Obviously, I don't think your D line was crazy elite. You got Chris Jones. You paid him, but you got to start thinking about the future. And Chris Jones is getting older, still playing at a very high level. But Derek Harmon is very elite. Tested like a freak. Chris Jones can put him under his wing. He'll be like a freak. Remember, Chiefs are loaded, guys. Chiefs are loaded. They got a good secondary. Chiefs always finds ways to win. Their defense is very good with their defensive coordinator. They invested so much in wide receivers. I don't see them going wide receiver here. Their O line's good. I think with they can go running back here from the guy from Iowa if they really wanted to. I don't know. They could always bring Kareem Hunt back and get Pacheco. I don't know if running backs. Obviously they don't need a quarterback. Like, what do you think? Like, it's either you get an offensive lineman or you get another D line. To me, Chiefs are picking the best player available, in my opinion, and he's the best player
Sure.
available right here, in my opinion. He's the best player
Locking in
available.
Derek Harmon. And now,
You better not.
listen, man. I know you want me to take Jalen Walker. I don't
Mm-mm.
think he has the upfront.
Not if he's here.
I don't think he has the upfront pass rush that I think you guys need. And I think you guys have needed pass rush this entire time. I'm taking Nick Gordon.
Thank you. That's how I wanted.
And there's a guy here that I really, really think people should go watch film on. As a Bengals fan, as unrealistic as it is, I want him at 17. Probably my favorite if not my favorite, my second favorite pass rusher in this draft, and nobody's talking about him. I haven't seen anybody talk about Braden Swinson at all. This guy's film is stupid. Go just watch a random game. Go watch him against Alabama. The dude makes people look dumb. He makes people look like they aren't on the same planet as him. He runs people over. He's got great technique. He's an uber athlete. I don't think he went to the combine, which really sucks. He also didn't go to the Senior Bowl, and I was really upset that he didn't go to the Senior Bowl. I really wanted to see him. Something about a sickness or something. But if I was a team at the end of the first round, I'm looking at Braden Swinson film. But as of right now, I'm going to take Nick Scorton because if he's there, I think the Eagles would take him. Absolutely.
We love the SEC.
All right, so let's take a quick look here. Give me your favorite and your least favorite pick of the draft, by you and by me.
I think I'm already know from the video that people are going to say pick 21 is the worst pick here. That's fine. That's fine. That can
Spoiler
be,
alert.
That could be. I'm not going to be mad, but I definitely think people in these GMs are going to love his athletic ability and his upside.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely think Mike Tomlin can get down with some Jalen Milroe, and I definitely think a great organization like the Steelers can bring something out of Jalen Milroe. I love that fit. So I'll say my favorite pick here is Abdul Carter to the Browns, because I would say Abdul Carter to the Browns. I obviously I'm an Eagles fan, but we're from Ohio. Browns are a team that I have a soft spot for.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see someone like my favorite college team, Penn State, one of my favorite players are at Washington College, Abdul Carter, go to a team I want to win, want to see do good. I think Abdul Carter would be fantastic. I think he's got a lot of expectations there for replacing Myles Garrett, so he's got a lot more pressure on him than we probably even thinks he does. But I think we'll see the expectations there. Least favorite pick by you? Mason Graham to the Patriots. I don't see it. I think it's Travis Hunter.
Okay. No. That is perfectly fine. I do think there were a couple options I could have gone there. Travis Hunter being one of them, and of course Will Campbell being one of them. I think Will Johnson was kind of in play for them too. If he tests well at his pro day, if he's doing a pro day, I have no idea what's going on with that guy. But
only 3 quarterbacks taken in the first round. That's very low.
I think it's going to be lower than that. Yeah. So of course, my least favorite was Jalen Milroe. I don't even need to go into it. I don't think he's worth. I think he's borderline a third rounder at the highest. I don't think there's anything egregiously bad about him other than just putting the ball into harm's way too much and making boneheaded plays that he's going to need to sit behind somebody for a while. And the Steelers just aren't the team to do that. They aren't. I think he would have fit in sitting behind, let me think, Matthew Stafford on the Rams. He would have fit in behind, Jared Goff, even though they already have, Hendon Hooker behind him, but we haven't seen that guy at all. Browns could have taken him later on down the road. I think it would have been a better fit. But my favorite pick, from you, my favorite pick was Amari Hampton to the Browns. Awesome pick. I love that pick for the Browns. He is a bona fide star in the making. He is going to be immediately as a rookie. I think he's going to be a top 15 running back in the league if he goes to the Browns or a team that's run first, like in the AFC North, except for the Bengals. I think he's going to be a top 15 immediately. There's teams out there like not the Lions. The Lions wouldn't take him. I think he would be a top 15, top 10 fringe for the Texans, sitting behind Joe Mixon, taking number 2 role. I think that'd be awesome for them. My favorite pick of the entire draft is absolutely Kenneth Grant to the Rams. I think that pick would shoe up the best defensive line in football and probably would have been the difference between them beating you guys in that the divisional round this year. But But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. We can have a little bit of discourse. Let me know your favorite pick. Let me know your least favorite pick. Let me know why I want to talk about this stuff. I only got a couple comments in the
I
last
want
video.
someone to comment about Jalen Miller to Steelers. I want either people to flame me, or I want people to say like they understand what I'm thinking here. Like I mean, Steeler fans, I don't know. Tell me if you're happy. I would be mixed feelings about the Steelers, but I don't understand it. It's kind of like the Jalen Hurts getting picked so early in the second round for us. We're like, what the hell? This feels like that. A guy has a lot of upside. You know, tape don't blow you away, but now this guy's a Super Bowl champion, right? Maybe Miller has that same story. And his favorite player is who? Jalen Hurts. I'm just saying.
All right, so that's going to do it for us, guys. Come back next time for the next video and get a little bit dumber. Just saying, by the end of this ride, you guys are going to have IQs that are in the negatives.
Mm-hmm.
Have a good one.
Just like all you Chiefs fans.
Later.